And welcome back to Chair League. I am Bahamut, your caster. Tonight we have, well, at least right now, we have Regen versus NoobSlayin. We have actually two other games after this. This is a best of three. And let's get into our first draft. On to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Extremely good match. Or excuse me, extremely good map. I wouldn't be surprised to see some priority on wave clear on this map, as well as some priority on Stukov, because I'm curious to see. He's been out for a couple days now. We didn't see him Tuesday, at least in the games that I casted. But he's definitely something to be reckoned with, especially just he hits like a truck, and he, as well as the fact that his healing, his silences, he's got a lot of good control in a team fight. So I wonder if there is going to be a prioritization of him. If NoobSlayin, which is on our right-hand side, is going to be trying to maybe get Regen to ban out Stukov, so that way they can maybe get a first pick like an Uther. He is quite popular right now because of the fact of just how strong he is as a solo healer. Genji will be banned out here. It's just he hasn't been changed at all lately, so, you know, definitely a force to be reckoned with. So they're just going to go ahead and say, you know what, we don't want to deal with that at all. But this could be exactly what I was just mentioning, though, working into forcing Regen to do a ban on Stukov. It's a risk here not to, because of the fact that if you don't want to play against it, and, you know, I don't know if he really has any good counters. To be honest, I've only gotten to play, like, I think I played like 4 or 5 matches yesterday. They all had Stukov in them, and they're hard. He's just difficult to play against. But in our last 20 seconds, we are going to be seeing... There's the hover for it. So NoobSlayin can pick up the Uther here if they want. I wouldn't be surprised to see a team maybe try Cho'Gall. He does work quite good on this map, but... you know, if you start picking up specific things, it's definitely hard. So Stitches is picked up here. Overall, just a good tank. Definitely. And even then, the slam build Stitches on this map is pretty good. Really good, actually. So Stitches for NoobSlayin, and I wonder what we're going to have on the side of Regen here. You know, they can pick up... I'm trying to think what would be best here to kind of just get the draft a little bit onto their side. Maybe if they picked up their healer and their tank, that might be a good way to be able to then pick whatever they want in those last 3 slots. If, you know, they do pick up that Cho'Gall, they can go ahead and say, all right, well, we're going to pick up Malthael or Tychus. Malthael against a Cho'Gall would be... that'd be a little bit scary because there's a lot of percentiles in there, and Cho'Gall has a huge health pool. So first 2 picks here, I would not be surprised to see like a Nubarak and Arthas. Or not Arthas, Uther. But we're actually going to see Tessadar and Uther. I wonder if they're going to go ahead and get a Tracer with this. And they can pick up whatever tank they want. Like Arthas works here too. I wonder if all right, so if they can get it, because the Nubarak's like super not prioritized right now. He's still alright, I think, but I don't think he's like as a priority like Stitches is, and Arthas does well in this map as well. So I'm just trying to think like maybe they'll end up. Well, we'll get back to that. I have a theory, and I'm curious what's going to happen with it. So for NoobSlayin, they're definitely going to need their last 2 picks before the second ban phase. Locking in something that doesn't really show where you want to go with your comp is pretty strong here. So they, you know, Uther's been taken. So a Kael'thas and Malfurion. Okay, I was thinking that they were going to pick... I was thinking they'd do some Ariel and Greymane maybe. But Kael'thas works really well on this map for wave clear. So at this point, with the comp that NoobSlayin has, they have their tank, they have their mage, and they have their healer. So something that Regen might want to prioritize in this ban phase right here is some sort of follow-up damage. So if they're not going to take the Greymane themselves, which they do have the next first pick, they should ban out the Greymane. Definitely Greymane would fit well into the comp of NoobSlayin. He provides that burst onto a target, which then, you know, Stitches can hook. Kael'thas gets the Whirlwind. He combos his. There's roots from Malfurion, and then you just have Greymane diving on that hero. So definitely like you can really burst down heroes, but they're going to go ahead and ban out the Illidan, which I think that's not a bad idea. He's extremely sticky. He's kind of hard to deal with, especially if you get someone hooked. They're going to go ahead and ban out the Vala. I think that Vala is a counter pick against the Tassadar. They just want to get rid of that synergy that Vala and Tassadar have together. But let's not forget that Tracer and Tassadar have a synergy as well. So what? All right. So what I was alluding to earlier, I think what Regen should take up here would be a Tracer, an Arthas, and maybe and I was thinking maybe Gul'dan. Because Gul'dan here would provide them extremely good wave clear with that Tassadar as well, and the dots to go up against the Stitches and the Kael'thas and getting, you know, that damage into that backline. Gul'dan's really good for that. Tracer has the ability to confirm the kills off of Gul'dan's damage and then recall back. And then you just have Arthas, who's just a very strong tank, and you have Uther and Tassadar to back him up, as well as the Tassadar shields for Tracer. So at this point, I'm hoping that's where it's going, but I'm curious to see what they're actually going to be picking up here. Tracer Joanna. Actually, Joanna works better, I guess. She does have the pull for the wave clear, and then that combos well into the Tassadar. But I'm still thinking they're going to have like a mage on the side of Regen. Maybe even a Jaina would work well here too, for the slows. So onto the side of NoobSlayin though, let's think about what they're going to be picking up here. They're going to need a melee assassin. I was about to say like something like a Zeratul would work kind of good, but then the Tassadar wouldn't. There's just too much to reveal that Zeratul. They're going to take Cassia and an off-tank, maybe like a Sonya or even a Dahaka. It's not a huge map, so the global's not a priority, but Dahaka has pretty good wave clear, as well as he has that ability to provide a lot of CC onto a target like Tracer if she comes in. But actually, we're going to have Varian. Okay, this is looking a little scary for Regen at this point. NoobSlayin, they definitely have a very strong comp that they've put together. The blinds against the Tracer, that's going to be pretty good. So, but the big thing is you have to also land that blind. So if Tracer is kind of bobbing and weaving, she's not going to be easy to get those blinds on. So that's definitely going to be a challenge on the side of NoobSlayin. But I definitely think that they're going to want a little bit more damage here, so I'm thinking that they're going to want to take up a mage on the side of Regen. The Gul'dan sounds good to me, but, you know, not everyone plays Gul'dan, so maybe it could be Jaina. And then, you know, I don't think it's going to be a pickup here, but I just love it because he's just a fun character to play. Asmodan's always a proper pick on this map, in my opinion. Or at least it's just fun and quick match. All right, and we are going to be having Leoric, actually. Leoric does do really well on this map, and he is going to be pretty useful against the Varian Stitches. The Entomb will be really good if they can get onto someone if they're chasing like a Kael'thas or a Cassia. I really like where Regen went with their draft. They have a lot of protection on that Tracer too. So as long as they can keep the Tracer alive, I think that Regen will do... I think they're going to do really well against this. The only thing that I'm really worried about is just the lockdown that they have on the side of NoobSlayin. So on our left-hand side, we have Turtles on Tracer. Excuse me, on our left-hand side, we have Regen with... Turtles on Tracer, Savior on Uther, Chavonic on Leoric, Trenchfun on Tassadar, and Templar on Joanna. On the right-hand side, we have NoobSlayin with Flex Squad on Varian, NoobSlayer 67 on Stitches, El on Cassia, Sartreuse C on Kael'thas, and NoobSlayin 76 on Malfurion. So lane matchup-wise, we're probably going to be having... I'm thinking they're going to put maybe their Leoric in bottom and then rotate with the rest of the team between top and mid. And then the other side, you'd put your Cassie in bottom and then rotate with the Kael'thas, Malfurion, Stitches, Varian, maybe? I think that's what you'd end up doing, because I don't... Well, we'll find out in a couple seconds here. Alright, let's take a quick peek at some of these level 1 talents while we're loading into the map here. Alright, well, it looks like we're going to have the Slam build from Stitches. Looks like Varian's going to be going into a tank. I wonder if... Yeah, he's probably going to take Taunt, because if the Tracer gets in, he can just taunt her, so definitely you're going to want to take that. I was thinking Colossal Smash maybe, but I don't think so.
2, 1. Let's the battle.
I want to know what you're going, Kael'thas. Tell me what you're going to take. Reveal your secrets. Alright, game number 1 with Regen versus NoobSlayin. There we go. So we are going to have the Stitches Leoric in bottom. Kael'thas will actually be taking Convection stacks, so look to see a lot of dive from Regen, trying to get that Kael'thas killed before he can reach those 20 stacks that he's definitely going to be needing. Alright. Looks like I'm dropping some frames here. I don't know why, but it looks like we're going to be spiking up in that. I'll try and close some programs once I get a second. But it looks like we are going to be having the 4-man rotation Varian will be rotating into bottom against this Leoric. That's just going to be a pretty stale matchup. So we're going to be following this one throughout the match. Looks like we are seeing that... Oopsie. We are seeing that Kael'thas is going to be working through those Convection stacks already. Alright, looks like we cleared that little turbulence of frames. Sorry about that. Alrighty. So it looks like on the side of the rotations, definitely NoobSlayin is controlling the rotations at this point. They really get a good hook onto that Tassadar. There is the follow-up Whirlwind from Kael'thas, but he has his Dimension Shift to get out. NoobSlayin drafted a really good comp to really clear these waves extremely quickly so they can make these rotations faster. Whereas on the side of Regen, they have a really good comp to keep the Tracer alive, but at this point they don't have extremely good wave clear, and that Stitch's Slam is going to get, and Tracer actually gets hooked. She will have to blink out. She does get the shield from Tassadar. She does dodge that stack of Convection, and are they going to be killing the Kael'thas? No, she got the bomb onto him, but he got right into his teammates, and he got healed right back up. So he will be living through that and keeping his 3 stacks. Other than that, let's... Well, I was going to say let's look at our 4 talents, but we can't yet. I thought they were going a little bit quicker. All right. So in bottom, we're still just having these rotations out of the 2 teams, and I'm curious to see like if Kael'thas is going to be aggressive here and take the Phoenix, or if he's going to try and take the Pyro Bomb for the late game. Because Pyro Bomb actually could work out here. If they do kill the Uther and there's no one to give a Divine Shield, this Cassia is getting so low. She gets blinded. But luckily her trait of being able to run and not take basic attack damage is countering the Tracer very well. So far this early game, they're doing an extremely good job of just keeping everyone alive. But as you can see, this Tracer will scale. She will become harder, or hit a lot harder in the later games. So look to see her kind of explode here in a little bit. And actually in bottom, we are having Leoric pushing in this Varian quite hard. Leoric being the bag of bones that he is, he can just Spectral Leech onto someone, and it just is going to provide... Ooh, that hook just barely missed. It's going to be able to provide enough health where he can just sit in lane and just stay there forever, so long as he doesn't burn through his mana bar. So coming up on gems here, it looks like on the side of Regen, they're holding theirs, but NoobSlayin looks like they've been periodically turning theirs in on these rotations they've been making, as well as the Varian in bottom. So it is a little bit easier, but it does slow you down on the rotations. But as I mentioned before, the way that they had drafted their lane clear, it's so quick that they can take the time to, you know, turn in, and they're not really missing out on the rotation. Expect to see a hook come out here. There's onto the Tassadar, but there is no follow-up. The blind is onto the Joanna. There is the pulse bomb onto Cassia. She will be getting teased by this Tracer, but because of that movement that she's doing, her trait's just kicking in, and she's just getting a little bit of shielding from just against basic attacks. Alrighty. Alright. So, we are a few away on the side of NoobSlayin from turning in completely here. Checking into some of the questing talents. It looks like Kael'thas is about a quarter of the way through his. Tassadar's same, and Joanna's getting close to about halfway with her regen globes at level 1. We are going to have a turn-in on the side of NoobSlayin, so they will continue to make these rotations during this time. Looks like we are going to have Leoric clearing bottom still, and the rest of the team will rotate down from top. But at this point, NoobSlayin's doing an extremely strong thing, and they're just creating mid-pressures that the Web Weaver goes straight into that, and then they're going to try and force this fight to delay it so they can guarantee that gate. Tracer does get the blink and the recall out. She will be doing fine here. Alright, and Templar Art will be saving himself as well with his Unstoppable. In the bottom, though, we will have Leoric going up against that barrier, and he is going to get pushed in a little bit, but it looks like that isn't going to be going too well for the Varian. He will be backing off. But with this, as I was saying, in mid you can see that the Web Weaver is pushed in because of the fact that they pushed that wave up and they rotated to top to delay this as long as they could. Now that the Web Weaver's gone, they are backing off just to play safe here. We are going to see the rest of the team, but actually there is a huge hook onto the Joanna. She has, I believe the cleanse was onto her, and I don't think she had her Iron Skin yet. So it must have just been the cleanse and the shielding from Tassadar. With the first Web Weaver phase over and 80 gems on the side of Regen, probably look to see them going to go turn in quite soon. The hook does go out, misses Tracer just barely. Kael'thas is over halfway through his convection stacks, so that's going to be something that Regen's going to want to capitalize before that ends. Alright, and Tracer is going to be hooked here. She will be getting out just fine, though. There is the Pulse Bomb onto the Cassia, but it looks like it is going to be missing the... the Ball Lightning actually connects onto Tracer for a couple seconds, but it doesn't work out. There is the hook and the Gorge onto Tassadar. Or, not Tassadar. The Uther, who will be put behind the gate, and he will be falling as well. In bottom lane, we are having the matchup of Kael'thas adding into this and pushing into that. Detected. Thank you very much. Alright, and we're going to be having them back off a little bit here. They're going to be playing safe because that Leoric is missing, or excuse me, the Kael'thas is missing, turning in, so they don't know where he is. They could be coming in for that attack. The Phoenix was chosen by him. I was thinking they might play with the idea of a Pyro Bomb, but I don't think so. The hook onto that Tracer would have been devastating, but they get away just fine. Okay, we are going to be seeing a turn-in for NoobSlayin here, and that is going to make it a second Web Weaver phase for them. And with that, we are having a ton of gems on the side of Regen. Templar has 40 at this point. He really needs to get those in. But the nice thing about that is, at this point, having like a piggy bank like that, you can just, run your Joanna in, she can turn in while the rest of the team distracts and some of the other lanes, or at least pushes in a little bit. But here we are going to have a small skirmish while the Web Weavers are coming out. There is the Phoenix out from the Kael'thas. There is the Ball Lightning too. The roots onto the Joanna will not confirm the kill, though. Leoric is going to be taunted. He is going to be collapsed upon, but it looks like he actually is going to be hooked, but the Entomb actually saves him at the last second. They didn't get any follow-up damage because it blocked most of their teammates. And Tassadar will be able to shield himself at the last second. I was wondering if he was going to be able to do that if he had the cooldown. But this Web Weaver is pushing in hard, and this could potentially be a gate if we lose one of the members of Regen. Looks like Leoric will be backing off here. He will be able to play safe and stay alive. He does get a Spectral Leech out. It is going to do enough. Ooh, the taunt has come out. Okay. The root was there for the follow-up, but their Cassia doesn't have enough health to really keep engaging here, and Tracer will actually be falling. Leoric will be falling as well, and that is the balance of, I think, 32 gems that NoobSlayin will zone Regen away from. Alright, and we are having at least another engagement. They are just pushing into this, and they really want to get this keep. The ball lightning does come out, and Cassia is actually going to be falling. The hook onto that Joanna pulls her right back into the fight. Leoric spawns right into the team, creates an entomb, and they definitely get a couple counter picks here. Tracer is back, and he is on Flex Squad. Excuse me. Kael'thas is only at 18, so if they do drop Kael'thas, they could potentially... okay. Whew. The D-Shield came out. They are getting this follow-up damage. They will be getting the Stitches, but I do not think they'll be getting the Kael'thas. So he will be living with his 18 stacks, and that is extremely close. Whew. So the counter push on that was amazing. They definitely got a couple good picks. That Cassia pick just swung the entire battle. Leoric came back perfect in time, got that entomb. And that was a really, really good play on the side of Regen. So they're definitely going to get their turn in at this point. Tracer will be punishing this Cassia, but they looks like, oh, there is another Entomb, but there is no follow-up damage. There is a taunt onto Tracer. She's taking a ton of damage. The Phoenix does come out, though. Leoric will be Wraith walking away, saving himself. Archon was used by the Tassadar, but he will be able to get out of this battle. Unfortunately, in the bottom, though, because the way that the waves were pushed up for the last Web Weaver phase, a Tracer is actually going to be hooked here at the last second. Taunted. There is the Gorge onto her. I think she had the D-Shield put onto her. No, it's still on cooldown. So she will be falling, and that is also going to be the confirmed kill onto Joanna. Unfortunately, NoobSlayin can't finish the game at this point because they do need to clean up this Web Weaver phase and regroup a little bit here. They're probably just going to want to turn in, or clean up, turn in, and maybe go for a core push at this point. Regen, if they can just get to maybe 13 and get a couple picks, they can definitely swing the way that the fight will go in the upcoming matches, or upcoming battles. So look to see them get this power spike at 13, group up, and hopefully they can collapse on this Kael'thas. I do believe he finished his convection stacks. Yes, he did. So that is definitely going to be something that they're going to want to prioritize. The Cassia is a good pick for them because it offers them a lot of good... it mitigates a lot of the damage from the enemy team because of the fact that there is no blind and the damage that comes out from her. So definitely getting onto her and killing her is good, but with the way that she can just kind of move and get shielding, it definitely makes the Tracer very, very... It gives the Tracer a very, very hard job at this point. Alright, and we are going to have Templar just throw out his shield. There is the Entomb onto the Malfurion, the perfect target here. They definitely want to be able to melt him down. They get the pick onto him, but Templar is going to be falling as well from the ball lightning. They are still on even talent tiers. There's about a 2-level difference, but they're just missing one of their tanks at this point. So looks like we are going to have NoobSlayin retreat here, maybe rotate into the boss. They do have... I was wondering, maybe that they have Taunt and Gorge, and Malfurion would be up just about in time for it. And I don't think... Oh, there will be a pause from Templar. Alright, let's take a quick peek at some of these. Alright, and with that quick pause, we're just going to go to a little bit of a break. I'm just going to get a little bit more water, and... Oops. Okay, alright, we are back right into this. it looks like there was a small communication or headphone issue, or excuse me, it was an internet issue. So, with that, we are going to be having Regen regrouping here in mid, trying to get, they want to close that gap, that level gap especially. Oh, that is why. All right, there we go. I was like, I'm seeing the clicks from Tracer. This is weird. Okay, so we are going to be having the team regrouping here, trying to get to their 16s. They can't really take a fight because of the power spike that they get at 16 on the side of NoobSlayin. Definitely with the pulverize that Stitches gets, it's just, if they get a hook, there's definitely going to be really it's going to be extremely hard for someone to get away from that. I mean, there is the cleanse that should help, and there is also the D shield as well. Or excuse me, actually, there is no cleanse. My mistake. So, which is basically the D shield. Joanna can get away, Tessar can get away, Leoric can get away, so it'll be a little bit hard for Tracer. She'll have to probably burn all of her blink stacks if she has them, but otherwise it's at this point they're going to be pushing in quite hard here. They're going to try and just kind of side soak for 16. That's definitely the way that they're going to want to go ahead and approach this fight. They will be losing their keep here, though, unfortunately, due to the fact that this Web Weaver is going to be pushing onto a very low level, low health keep. And the double flame strike will confirm it right away, actually. The nice thing that Regen did do at this point, they did push back their top and bottom, so the Web Weavers aren't going to be able to press in that hard to these keep. They might be able to just lose a gate on this top. Bottom is so far pushed in, and the team is not there. So they probably should be able to defend this gate, though. It shouldn't be an issue with the fact that they are able to fight under their keep. The ball lightning does come out. It is starting to spread to many of the members. They stop it from spreading indefinitely, though. Alright, and they are actually getting the retreat out of the team. Joanna is kiting them away with her indestructible. The hook does come out. The Gorge misses, I think? Oh, no, excuse me, there was no Gorge. Leoric will be falling here, though. The Joanna pulled them away long enough. They were trying to split the team apart. Definitely maybe get into that backline Kael'thas Cassia, but it looks like that ended up getting Leoric killed. The Tracer does get the Pulse Bomb onto the Cassia, but with that trait that she has, she's going to be able to just walk away. Alright, and it does not look like they're going to be pressing the advantage too hard here. The root does come out. There was almost a huge hook, but there is the slam, which is definitely be able to slow them down here. Ooh, and actually we're going to see a great entomb and a weird charge from Varian. The slow onto them will be able to confirm the kill onto Malfurion, and Kael'thas is coming in here dealing a significant amount of damage to that Tassadar. Oh my god, that was so much. Flex Squad will be actually living here, but they will get the kill onto Stitches. Tracer is trying to get onto that Cassia, and they will actually be getting it. And this is a huge turnaround for Regen at this point. They do want to make sure, though, that they do watch their core, because they do currently have catapults on it. Kael'thas will scout this out with the Phoenix, so they do know it's there. We are going to see the Leoric going back to, get full health, and also deep push the mid wave. Without any of the team up, especially without their Malfurion or Cassia, they definitely can't do anything with this. There is no, silence that they can do to invade this and get a counter kill onto Regen, but they will get so much damage from that Kael'thas Pyroblast. Or Flame Strike, excuse me. Okay. With this boss push, though, we are going to be seeing... I mean, it's a 16-minute boss, so it's going to be trucking pretty hard. Maybe losing a fort here. I don't think, though. I don't think we'll be losing that. They definitely have a lot of damage, and it looks like Regen's going to be trying to go in for this turn-in, combo that with their boss that they just got. So definitely creating a lot of push on the side of Regen. Let's see just how NoobSlayin is going to go ahead and respond to it. They actually just got the last 3 that they need, so I wonder if they're just holding off. Maybe they're going to try and de-push this bottom before they get this turned in, so that way all 3 lanes are trying, at least pushing past mid. That is the best way to optimize how you can get your pushing going, so it looks like that'll be the choice way that they're going to go about it. In mid, we are going to see the counter push for the hard camp. It's going to be on the side of NoobSlayin as well. Okay, and we are seeing this invade the slam onto the Uther. Excuse me, Joanna. There is the slow onto the Leoric. Nothing yet. Everyone's just posturing at this point. The Web Weaver turn-in is for Regen. There is the Entomb from the Leoric. There is a huge... Oh my god, the silence into that Phoenix was an immense amount of damage, as well as the Kael'thas combo. And with that, they are going to get a pick onto the Leoric and the Joanna, and also Tracer will be falling here as well. Uther will be alive, unfortunately, though. I don't know if this will be enough to... I don't think the Death Tamers are long enough for them to rush core. No, they definitely... I was thinking that they would try and clear the rest of the Web Weavers, but it looks like they're just going to go ahead and try and end the game at this point.
Blue team's core is
Alright, and this is going to be the core falling. The first game is going to be going over to NoobSlayin. GGs are called out. All right, and welcome back. We are in our second match. They switched it up on me. I did catch it though. So we are going to have Regen on the right, and we are going to have NoobSlayin on the left. They swapped in the lobby, and they were trying to get good jukes on me, but it was not there. Alrighty, and so we are going into Curse Hollow here. One of the largest maps in the pool. Look to see a prioritization or ban prioritization on a lot of the globals here. Especially Dahaka. He does extremely well on this map because of the way that he can split push, and as well as how he can just really get a lane pushed up and then appear at the objective with his Brush Stalker, since it is a global. It's not like Falstad, which is global, but it's also ranged at the same time. So I'm wondering what they're going to go ahead and ban here, because they do have first pick. They're going to ban out the Genji, so I think they're actually going to be taking notes out of NoobSlayin's book over here, and they're gonna ban out Genji, force them to try and ban the Stukov, and maybe try and pick it up themselves. All right, and Tassadar will be banned out here, so maybe they feared that Tass Tracer combo. That was... Huh. It was really strong, but man, they just want to get rid of it right away. That's extremely weird that they would ban it like that. Or they're just kind of throwing that away and saying, you know what, take Stukov. Or take Uther. We'll take Stukov. So I think at this point they're saying, you know what, you know, you're going to try and take this from us. We're just going to go ahead and say, we'll give you a weird response. Alrighty. Let's see if I can close something out here. Alright. Let's go ahead and just close out. Why won't you close for me? So first pick wise though, they are going to be still considering the Stukov or the Uther pick, because that's definitely something that they're going to want to try and figure out what's going to be strong against them. So Stukov will be banned out here, or actually, excuse me, he's going to be picked up here, not banned out. I'm trying to close out of a couple programs. Maybe that will get rid of... I don't know why, but I'm having some frame drops. So I might have to restart after this stream, but let's just try and close out a couple. Let's just throw Discord in the garbage can for a little bit. Maybe that should clear it up. All right, and we are going to have that first pick Stitches back again. And I'm curious if they're going to just go into... what you would go into at this point. Because the Kael'thas was their second pick, I believe, last time. They could go ahead and just pick up Uther here and just have an extremely strong tank, and they're actually just going to go ahead and pick up Greymane. I like that. That works out pretty well. Because they can hook into oh my god. The hook can be just dove upon by Greymane and explode an enemy target. So this is what I was talking about last match, where I was pondering if they were going to pick up the Greymane because that would combo well into their Kael'thas. But I don't know. I also don't know why I'm dropping so many frames. That's the other thing too. Let's just go ahead and close out of that. See if that does anything. Okay. So Stukov picked up here on the side of Regen. I wonder what they're going to be going to be grabbing with that, though. Curse Hollow, the Dahaka is still available, so they can definitely pick up that global threat, and then maybe they can pick up that Tracer again, because that was extremely strong, but they're actually going to go ahead and take a Vala Ariel. Huh. I didn't think that you would need the Ariel also, but maybe at the same time they are limiting that healer pool. And Vala and Ariel, you know, they work well as a duo, so you can definitely pick up like a solo laner and then have the Stukov run with someone else. So you can do like a 2-2-1 on the map, and then maybe get your Dahaka here if it doesn't get banned out or picked up. Then you can solo with the Dahaka in bottom and have him rotate around the map with Brush Stalker every 45 seconds. I think that's definitely the way that you're going to want to go. All right, we are dropping extreme amounts of frames. Huh. I'm trying to just ponder anything I can do to upgrade this. But of course, it's just Spectrum Internet, and it's just going to be the way it is. We're going to restart the stream really quick. Sorry about missing out on a little bit of the draft. I just want to get this fixed before we actually go into the game. So we will be right back. Please stay tuned. Alright, we are going to be having the Uther banned out here. It's a strong ban because of the fact that it doesn't allow them to have, well, it doesn't allow them to have that Uther with the Divine Shield Greymane, but it is something that you want to consider. That Malfurion was pretty strong last game. With the Roots combo with the Stitches, and then you'll have the Greymane die from there. That's definitely going to be another thing that they're going to need to worry about.
My hatred is
and an Illidan here. I actually wouldn't be too surprised to see an actual Abathur picked up here on the side of NoobSlayin. Yeah, that's definitely... An Abathur would be a really strong pick for them because the double Greymane, the double Illidan, the double... I mean, double of any of those things are a huge threat in a fight. So it's really... Whoever plays, if they play... it's going to be Abathur. I'm like 100% sure of it at this point. Alright, looks like we're back live? Our live yellow status bar, red status bar. Oh, okay. Alright, well, I apologize so much for this. I'm going to have to sort this out after this match. Hopefully it levels out. I don't know what the issue is. Maybe it's someone on a East Coast server, but I don't really have problems with those. Huh. I wonder. Actually, can I actually check that? Nope. Alright. We're going to have the Arthas picked up here as well as the Chen. And that's actually a little unexpected. They don't really have anyone to stun Chen out besides the hook, I believe. So Chen doesn't have anyone to stun him out, and that Abathur pick, I don't know if that's going to work out now. Huh. Because it was looking like an Abathur comp at this point. You know, they had Greymane strong solo laner, Illidan strong solo laner, then you can do the Stitches Malfurion with Abathur rotating behind gates, pushing out the waves, and then when the objectives pop, they can then hop onto... Abathur can then hop into the furthest opposing lane and then hat soak that the other lane that isn't soaked. So definitely can really get a lot of global experience, but I don't know if the Abathur would do well against the Chen. And it's actually going to be Murden. Okay. So Murden will be picked up here, and it definitely provides the stun that you would want to be looking for against that Chen. It wasn't this team. I think it was Tuesday night. Tuesday night I was casting, and I don't think it was them, but it was someone else who did like shotgun Murden build, and it was just terrifying. All right. Hopefully, after this draft, we get these. Hopefully, this levels out. I apologize so much to everyone for having to deal with the frame drops. We're definitely going to be doing a restart after this match right here. But going into this one, we will be doing as best as we can with what we have. On the left-hand side, we have Sutru on Greymane, L on Murden, NoobSlayer 67 on Stitches, NoobSlayer 76 on Malfurion, and Flex Squad on Illidan. That is NoobSlaying. On the right-hand side, we have Chivonic on Chen, Templar on Arthas, Savior on Ariel, Trenchfun on Stukov, and Turtles on Vala. That is Regen. Alrighty. And into our second match of the evening. It looks like someone did update the scoreboard. That is good. It looks like we're leveling out here. I'm just going to check this really quick. We're on Central United States, so it shouldn't be an issue. But we will see. Going into some of these first level talents, let's take a peek. Stitches will be going to a slam build. Greymane into the Galnea's cocktail build. Looks like Chen will be taking his Donkey Kong build. Arthas is going the standard as well. Hot Pursuit from Vala. And Stukov I can't comment on because I barely know him enough, but I've been seeing a lot of people go for like the Silence Hand, focusing a lot around that. So we're going to see the Illidan and the Greymane actually rotating into bottom right away here. Stitches and Murden are going to be going into the top, leaving the Malfurion in mid. And at this point, Regen's just kind of... Looks like they're just kind of trying to feel out their lanes here. So they're just going to do a standard 3 in middle, 1 on top, 1 on bottom. And we are seeing the laning switch around. Illidan will be rotating into the top. Maybe they were trying to confuse them a little bit here. I don't know. But Murden did take the third wind at level 1, so he will not be going shotgun build. Someone was discussing it in our community today, so it was just like, I wonder if they're actually going to do that. Because, you know, the Chen might be a pretty good target for that, especially with a lot of the abilities that you get from the 4 and the 7 with the extra damage, as well as the, I think, the mana reduction and the piercing, so you can throw it through a teammate, or an enemy teammate. Okay. Greymane will be able to just clear out this wave very easily. Stukov, I'm really excited to be casting a game with him because I wonder how he's going to actually affect the battle. He's got a silence within his kit, and that's extremely hard to deal with. Alarak the same way. I'm not sure why he's not played enough, to be honest. He's a very good melee assassin. Maybe he's just map specific. But there's the silence onto the Greymane. The only thing with that is Stukov has to stand basically still the entire time, so he can just take free attacks, maybe get some roots underneath them. So that's the only downfall of that. Also, he hits like a school bus, too. Alright, I looked over at my stats and they were yellow for 1 second, and then I watched and then it went right back red. So maybe if I don't watch it, the stream will clear itself up a little bit here. Stukov using his hand for the wave clear, and actually that is extremely quick. That's really, really good for wave clear. And Chen in bottom is going to be able to just... This shouldn't be too much of an issue for him against the Murden here. In the next 30 seconds, we are going to have our first curse point on bottom. At this point, it will be on bottom, so that means it will not be popping top for until possibly the 4th one from now. So it's either going to be on our left-hand side or our right-hand side. In mid, they are pushing the wave up as best they can with the Stukov. The rotation from the NoobSlayers or NoobSlayin? I closed my window with all my information trying to save my internet. I hope this isn't just like a slideshow for people. So we are going to see the hook onto the Chen. He will be rooted and collapsed upon, but he has so much health. The Panda will be actually falling, though. There's a whip from Ariel onto the Murden. He will be taking a significant amount of damage. He will be actually leaping in with the static for the attack speed reduction, I believe that is. The afterburn, excuse me. There is a slam from Stitches, and with this good zoning, they're going to go ahead and let the Illidan capture this. Arthas trying to go in for the poke. He will be missing it. The silence does come out from Stukov. Stitches is getting extremely low here. Vala will confirm that kill, though. Now moving on to the Greyman. It looks like Regen is trying to take this fight overall, but Illidan, coming back with just about full health, is going to be getting sticky onto this Arthas, but with the Ariel being able to blind him with her clappy wrists, she's definitely going to be, he's going to be not confirming that kill onto Arthas. So definitely a good trade on the side of Regen, but at the same time, I worry about the late game fights because of the fact that Greyman's going to scale, and the Metamorphosis or the hunt that you get from the Illidan, basically gives your team one global. But at the same time, I'm curious to see which Stukov ultimate we're going to see. The knockback at 10 is pretty good because at 20 you can upgrade it so you can control it. So it'd be pretty good for curse points to, let them get close, you push them away. But at 10 it's just such a hard talent to use because it just does all three, and it usually pushes them too far away or too, it pushes them too far in one direction, I've been finding. And it looks like stream's leveled out for the time being. So we are going to have Murden being zoned out here. They are going to be trying to collect this point. And now that we also did see... Oh, there's the silence on the Murden, so he will not... Okay, there we go. He did get out. All right, so we saw that the first one was in this bottom middle. The second one was in the top right, or the bottom right. So the next one, by the way that, the way that it rotates around the map, is the next one will be in the top left. So look to see a lot of the teams starting to position in that top left, mid to top area with some of their, quicker rotators, because the fact that they want to be first to that tribute, set it up, and that's a really good thing that NoobSlayin's doing right now. That they got this hard camp, so it's going to be pushing into mid, distracting them. The team will have to rotate into mid, sit there, clean it up, and that should give them enough time to position for the upcoming curse in the top left area. As well as they also do have the vision from their watchtower, so that does give them a little bit of a good, it gives them a good positioning tool. They can kind of stay within that range. If someone comes in, they're going to see it happen. All right, and we are seeing a quick engagement. The hook does come out. It misses. NoobSlayin will be getting in here, but there is the silence from the Stukov from Regen. The Stukov, with him just putting the silence right on that point, no one can really get near it. So it's really good zoning, but at the same time, he is missing out on the healing. Murden does get his clap onto majority of the team. The healing from Stukov will be there, but there's the hook onto the Ariel. We will be seeing the Illidan actually falling here. The huge silence from the Stukov. That is going to be confirming another person. Excuse me, what? That huge silence just flipped the entire fight around, and they just got a 5-man kill. I'm speechless. That was the power that you get from that silence was just insane to me. Holy crap. Wow. All right, we will be seeing an invade from the Illidan. They do see that they are there, but I do not think that their team will be able to get there in time. Murden does hop over the wall. There is the stun onto the Chen. The thunderclap is there. They're trying to burn down this Chen, but it's a drunk panda, so he's just going to get near his team and then just drink, and he'll be fine. Looks like he got a speed boost as well. I believe that's his 7 talent. Yep, that was his 7 talent. Okay, cool. And with that 5-man kill at that last curse point, that does put them onto the 10 on the side of Regen. So look to see them be very aggressive with the positioning on this curse. They do have the room to kind of flex on against NoobSlayin because of the fact that they have these 10s. They can engage however they want, and it looks like they're just going to go ahead and give this up. Chen will be just delaying them as best as he can. This is going to be a guaranteed curse, which is great that it actually isn't that great for NoobSlayin because Vala didn't have to rotate back from bottom into top. So them not delaying kind of made it easier for Vala to rotate. But at the same time, they're going to rotate back themselves. So it won't be too much of a loss. It's just the experience gain and rotation that Regen is getting off of this is a little bit faster and a little bit better. Because of the way that they didn't poke and force the entire team to come down to that curse point and then have to rotate all the way back up to the top of the map. We are going to see a strong 5-man push-up here. Just want to check on the Illidan in bottom. Looks like he's going to be going up against that Arthas. Alrighty, and then we are going to be having this first fort falling for Regen, and they're going to be looking to posture a little bit more aggressive. They've got about 19 seconds left, so they can push the wave up and maybe go for a boss. It's an 8-minute boss. It's not going to do a whole lot, but it does provide a lot of distraction to the enemy team, so they cannot really, like, they have to rotate and clear that boss. Otherwise, they'll be losing the Keep Gate, which then further down the road is going to affect the pushing that they're going to get because of just... Stukov is doing an insane job of clearing waves. They've got the Chen and the Arthas, so they've just got such good wave clear. And then the follow-up damage that they have from the Vala and the charge that they get from the RL is just such a hard comp to kill right now. With that, though, we are going to be seeing the NoobSlayers going down to their boss. I don't think that Regen can make this rotation, so they're going to go ahead and take their hard camp in mid, which will provide them a good amount of push in the top and the mid, so then that way they can clear their bottom. And it looks like NoobSlayin will be doing the exact same thing, just trying to kind of counteract this push with the push that they've created. But during this time, Regen has continued to... I heard the hunt go out, and I was like, there's no one over there, and I had to check. Regen is going to be near 13, so they're going to try and keep this 2-level lead. Well, it's about a level lead, excuse me. Curse Blow does come out onto the Arthas, but he will get healed up right away from the Stukov. Gilneas Cocktail does come out and does complete the quest for him. Stitches is here. There is the possibility of a hook. They are playing within their minion wave, so they cannot get hooked here. Once that minion wave is cleared, they'll look for Stitches to be trying to capitalize. There might be a hook onto the... Okay. I was about to say maybe onto the Chen because of the fact that he was standing still, but he got out right away. In bottom, we're going to have Ariel and Vala de-pushing this wave, saving their fort from the boss. Just really quick. The boss did just get the Keep Gate. Curse Bolt does go on to the Vala, makes Ariel burn her entire stack of Hope. At this point, we should be seeing another tribute point coming up. There it is! Look at that! So that's going to be coming up any second here. This is going to be random eyes because this is the 5th one, if I'm not mistaken. That is the Gilneas Cocktail coming out, demounting the team, and slowing them on this rotation here. So with Chen and the Arthas up here, they definitely have some decent poke until the enemy team arrives. But Illidan and Murden are trying to do the exact same thing, but Chen and Arthas is going to be quite hard to kill, especially once he uses his Panda Pals button on... the Illidan's actually confirmed here. I wasn't sure if that was going to get him. The, excuse me, Putrid Bile comes out there trying to lock down the Stukov, and they actually will be getting that kill. So with that, they do not have their secondary healer, so Vala will still be comboing well with the Ariel. They are going to be burning down this Murden quite quick. She will vault forward and get the combination onto him. NoobSlayer 76 on this Illidan is trying to get away, but he is being slowed by the Panda Pals. There is the Stitches. I'm wondering if he's going to get a friendly hook onto him. Nope, the Curse Bullet comes out. There's the hook onto the Vala. She does vault away. There's the kick from Chen, and they want to turn this right around. They want to punish them for going right into this, but it looks like they're going to be disengaging. Smart play to disengage is just to play safe, but I definitely think that if Vala had a little bit more pressure behind her with the Chen and the Ariel, definitely think they could have confirmed that kill on Stitches, which would have just given them a bigger advantage to push up the waves a lot harder because there's that missing tank. In bottom, we will see the Illidan working away at clearing that and trying to push that up for that next fort.
The choice is simple.
Alright, and this is going to be our next curse. Not a curse point for anyone, but an extremely important one because it will get them closer to it. Excuse me. Alright, and Stitches will be going ahead and capturing this. They will be losing their Greymane and their Malfurion at the same time, so he does get that, but they end up losing three of their members. The body blocking that they did and kept keeping Murden in there, he couldn't use his Dwarf Toss, and that is just so crippling. Like, I'm curious to see how hard Stukov is going to get nerfed, because that's just, I mean, he's got insanely good control, especially on anything where you have to fight someone. Like, what if, I'm just thinking here, Ariel, Vala, Stukov, Cho'Gall. Because Cho'Gall does really well on maps where you actually have to fight him, like curse points like this, as well as Towers of Doom, because the fact that you have to go to one of those, you have to fight him. Illidan, sorry, it's just theory crafting in the back of my mind really quick, because it's just like the Stukov silence is just so hard to deal with. Chen is going to have to use his R button to get out of this. He will be losing one of the pandas, but all three have to be killed to confirm a death. Illidan will be still pushing up in bottom. He does have the hunt. No, he does not. No, he has the hunt. Excuse me, I was looking at Stitches. He has the hunt, so he can come into this at any point as long as there is vision. He's probably going to be hunting into this Ariel, but he's definitely going to want to wait until she is isolated from her team in some manner. Just to note, though, the boss is up on the side of Regen. They are going to be the first ones to this point, and it looks like NoobSlayin is just going to go ahead and let them have that, and they're going to be rotating onto the boss, and I'm curious to see... Yep, and at this point they're going to say, you know what, you're going to take your boss, we'll take ours. So we are going to see a boss take for Regen and a boss take for the NoobSlayin. Alright, and that is a kick from Chen to confirm that first boss in top, and then the boss in bottom. So this top boss will be pushing onto the keep rather than the bottom boss, which still has to go through the gate. So it gives them a little bit of time on the side of Regen to definitely rotate, take this hard camp, and push in. And this is an opportune time for a curse. Not so much for Regen, though. Excuse me, I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at the minimap. So we have Vala in bottom. She's going to go ahead and clear the boss, but that means they don't have their most critical damage at this curse. Granted, though, NoobSlayin is going to do the exact same thing. Oh, they're only going to leave their Illidan, so they're definitely going to be taking this curse point here. They're going to go ahead and use the Stitches to zone this out. Arthas will not be able to poke this in time, so that is going to be a really good curse pickup on the side of NoobSlayin. I'm curious to see how Regen will respond to this. They should be able to save that keep easy. That top fort will be confirmed, though. And it looks like they're going to be trying to work down this gate. Oh, the Arthas is caught out of position. He does have... There's an Aegis onto him. The rest of the team is slowly arriving to him. There is the heal from the Stukov and the silence. So he actually turns around and starts going back into fighting. There is the silence actually from the Stukov onto the Greymane, so he cannot do anything. There's a kick in from Chen, but the silence is gone. Chen is currently isolated. He does use his R button. He is trying to get onto this backline. He is really trying to get onto this Greymane, but the Malfurion is doing such a good job of keeping him alive. And with this insanely strong dive from Chen, is really helping them out to push back and save this keep wall. There are a couple minions on the bottom keep, which will probably be confirming that. I don't think they can make that rotation in time. So... unfortunately, the keep in top for NoobSlayers will be saved, and Regen will be losing one keep during this curse. But on the positive note, for Regen, they only need to get one curse point to get to a point where they actually... when they have a curse. Just saying the same thing twice. But they're definitely going to want to capitalize on getting that, so they're going to want to position themselves in a particular way on this map to get that next curse point. And I believe it should be in the bottom region. I haven't been keeping track, so I'm not sure exactly where it's going to be heading into. Alrighty, and on the side of... excuse me. We're just going to check in some talents here. It looks like they're just doing some standard rotations just to depush their waves until the next curse point gets here. They're going to want to go ahead and try and... get the 20s beforehand. I believe it should be in bottom, though. I'm pretty sure. We're actually going to see the double Executioner at 16. I mean, it's basically Executioner. but it's just Murden's version. So we are going to have a small invade. They're going to just push him back. They're definitely going to want to focus on pushing this bottom wave back because of the fact that it does have catapults in it. And let those build up at your core, and they will be doing a tremendous amount of damage to it. And that could potentially win the game for NoobSlayin if it's delayed long enough. And with this long transition between the curses, it definitely puts the teams in an odd spot because they want to rotate for their leveling and also stay together, but they don't want to fight before that because they don't want to lose any members, especially because of the fact that if they get this curse point, the lanes will be pushed out decently for them. And they can also maybe even confirm a keep or two if as long as they have their 20s. Alrighty. So at this point we are having the watchtower and bottom taken from NoobSlayin, and as well as it looks like they're going to be posturing up to get their hard camp right before this curse, so that way they at least have a little bit of lane pressure going. Alright, and here we go into the bottom right-hand corner. This is the curse point for Regen. Definitely they want to try and capitalize on this because I think if they get this, they can, and they get the team fight as well, they can turn this into a best of 3 into a game 3. And they do have, they have the level advantage. They have a very good team fight with that Ariel as well as that Vala and the Chen kicking in deep. So they're just going to go ahead and give this up. Vala will be confirming this camp right here. And at this point, NoobSlayin is just going to play extremely safe. They're going to spread themselves out. Well, actually, that's a little bit of an oxymoron, but Illidan can be by himself. They're going to spread out just a little bit here. You can see Murden's playing extremely safe, and the rest of the team is just kind of playing by their gate. So they definitely have that retreat path because they do not want to get called out here, or caught out without 20s in a team fight. Murden is coming in to check boss. Vala is rotating around. There is a huge flank coming in. There is the stun onto the Malfurion. Murden does come into that backline. There's the secondary stun. The Curse Bullet does come out, though. Onto the Arthas. He will be using his Army of the Dead, which will give him full health, as well as the Stukov. The kick does come in from Chen, though. There is the silence from Stukov. There it is. And they're just going to be pushing into this gate so hard. And without 20s, NoobSlayin just has to stay behind their gate and play extremely safe not to lose someone here. Illidan will be stealing the camp from Regen at this point, which is going to show that he's not there, but he does have Hunt, and he will have the Global Hunt at 20, I would assume, for the lower percentile targets that he can just automatically see on the map. It just provides that vision. And it looks like with that 20 that was just given to NoobSlayin, they are going to try and hook out one of the members. They do see that. Val's going to get right onto this. There will be a complete and full disengage. A whip from Ariel, root from Arthas, and whew, that Cursed Bullet just chunks him out. And with this boss, though, and it's a 21-minute boss, or maybe 20-minute boss, I didn't see the time signature. This is definitely going to be pushing onto a keep, and with that rotation, they're going to say, you know what, screw the camp, that'll get cleaned up easy. Let's take another boss, because we can see them on map, and they're definitely not going to be able to respond to this, and they could actually, since the wave is so far pushed up for them, they can try and push in with this. NoobSlayin definitely has the opportunity because they already saved this keep, so that's not going to be an issue for them. Malfurion does not have Mule. Does Malfurion? I don't think he has Mule. He has Mule in his kit, I'm pretty sure. But he didn't take it at this point, obviously. They're definitely going to be trying to push in with this boss. The vision will be captured by the Chen, which will just allow them to kind of sneak in here a little bit better. Once they clear this wave, they won't have as good vision on what Regen will be doing. But they're definitely going to be posturing up underneath their keep, playing extremely safe here. Alright. So the boss is onto the keep. It looks like they're going to be pushing into it. Whoa! The Army of the Dead minion gets popped and pulled at the last second. There is the stun from the boss onto the Stitches, and the silence does come out from the Stukov. The boss will confirm the keep, so they are going to be trying to push onto the core with this. They do get the lockdown onto the Murden. He doesn't get out. He is silenced, and the kick from Chen will confirm the kill onto him. Greymane is rooted here. There is the secondary stun from the Vala. She will also be confirming that kill also. And at this point, this is looking extremely dire for NoobSlayin. The boss is onto the core. It has a fraction of a health. Illidan is getting just berated by these pandas. And with that, I do believe this is going into a game 3. The hook from Chen underneath the tower. Chen's drinking? Okay. They took out the Stukov, and I got a little worried that it was starting to slide out to the side of NoobSlayin. But good games, and we're going into our game number 3. All right, and here we go into our 3rd game between NoobSlayin and Regen, and I just realized I didn't check who is on whose side. Failure on my part. Oh, turds. All right, so, well, I guess we're just going to try and guess the team by the draft. So, I do believe that NoobSlayin gets the option of map or ban pick. I think
New follower detected.
Alrighty. So first ban here on Battlefield of Eternity, they're definitely going to want to look to either try and force them to ban Stukov. The Tastar is actually going to be banned out here. I have a feeling that the right side is NoobSlayin, because the Tassadar ban against the Tracer, I think, is what they're targeting here. That's definitely what I'm thinking. I definitely wish I looked at who was playing who. Yeah, okay. I was thinking that maybe that was giving me some information. Ban-wise here, though, since they're not going to be able to take it, the ban on Stukov is probably the best way to go about this. But then again, like, the Uther ban is pretty strong here as well. Alright, we're going to guess this. Yeah, alright, so I'm thinking the left-hand side is going to be Regen, and the right-hand side is going to be NoobSlayin. I'm pretty sure. First pick here, though. I mean, Uther's still up, so you can always just lock him in. But that's actually going to be the Vala. Are we about to see a Cho'Gall on this map? Because they could easily go ahead and pick up... They could pick up
New
Ariel.
follower detected.
They could pick up Ariel and, like, someone else. Huh, I'm wondering here. But on the left-hand side, if this is NoobSlayin on the left-hand side, I wouldn't be surprised to see them pick up the Stitches and the Malfurion here, or a Stitches Greymane again. I'm just not sure, because I don't know who got map pick. I think it goes back over, but it's just, I don't know. I won't ponder on it too much. But definitely, Greymane here is pretty good. Genji's actually going to be picked up with the Uther, and that is going to be terrifying to deal with. Huh. That's just going to be hard to deal with. All right, and then in our second pickup here on the right-hand side, I want to honestly say it's like, if they get, like, Ariel and Nubarak, just, like, please pick up the Cho'Gall, maybe? I actually wouldn't be too surprised to see Malthael being picked up. Alarak is going to be nabbed here. Because Malthael would be really strong against the Immortals because of the way that he percentile damage that he does. But he will not be grabbed. And actually, we're going to be going into our second ban phase here. I just wonder what you would take, what you want to ban out here. They have they have really good damage against the Immortal on the right-hand side. Maybe limiting the tank pool might be helpful. They already have the Rhaegar, so I don't think they're going to try and get like a secondary healer or anything. I'm definitely thinking that actually the right-hand side is NoobSlayin and the left-hand side is Regen. Okay, so someone did confirm in chat. NoobSlayin took Vala. So NoobSlayin is on our right-hand side, Regen's on the left. They swapped me again. Like, come on now, jukes. They actually juked me this time. Last game I was like super vigilant and everything. This time, no, I missed out. So Regen going to be banning out probably the Sylvanas actually. That's really good because of the fact that she does provide that lockdown to the tower, so you can really get an extremely good push with the Immortal. Forgot the word there for a second. All right, and then on... I was just going to say, they're going to maybe need a mage here, so... But for Regen, Malthael's still a viable pick, and Greymane is too if they have a Greymane player. The Tassadar ban was really... By the way, thank you, AG33. Thanks for telling me that it was NoobSlayin took Vala. On the side of Regen on the left here, I think Malthael, if you're not going to take the Greymane, and it wasn't banned out either, so that's a potential still pickup on the side of NoobSlayin. I doubt that they're going to run 3 assassins and a tank and a healer, but you never know. I mean, you can just burn down these Immortals. The Malthael would provide some decent percentile damage to the Immortals, as well as if they go into that Cho'Gall. Because you don't have to take Ariel with Cho'Gall. I mean, it works way better, but the Ancestral does provide that second health bar that he needs. So there's Greymane and Tyrande, actually. Ooh. So that's actually a really, really interesting pickup, because Tyrande did just get buffs. I personally don't really know how it's affected her, because I literally played a couple games yesterday and then I had to go to bed. Lucio's actually going to get picked up. What? What kind of comp is this? You have to get, like... They have to just go for their stitches here. They've gotten it every match, and it's actually worked out pretty decently for them, especially in that first match. They don't really have... well, actually, they have the Rain of Vengeance at 10. They have the Telekinesis from Alarak, the Slow from... Nope. They're going to go for the Giant Murky Dahaka. Not Dahaka. Dang it. I messed that up. Diablo. So, Regen, going to respond to this. They're going to need the tank themselves. I wouldn't be too opposed to seeing like an ETC here. That would work out pretty well. He'd be able to separate some of the team members, definitely push them out of position. That Lucio's just going to be impossible to kill. But the stuns from Tyrande and Uther are going to counteract that pretty well. Genji is really sticky also. Varian will be grabbed here. I actually really like that. I really like the Varian pickup. The taunt that you get is going to be really, really useful. I'm just trying to see like who you could really blow up with it, and it's literally like, as long as you get the taunt, I think if you taunt Rhaegar, and then you can blow up anyone on his team because he can't pop that Ancestral. Or even Lucio, like if you know the Ancestral's been used, taunt Lucio, he can't break it down. You can then burn him down if the Ancestral's already been used. So this is... Okay, cool. The name's popped up. Alrighty. On the left-hand side, in our third game of the evening, in this best of 3, we have Turtles on Genji, Trivik on Greymane, Templart on Varian, Trench Fun on Tyrande, and Savior on Uther. This is Regen. On the side of Lucio, we have L on Lucio, or excuse me, we have L on Lucio, NoobSlayer 67 on Vala, Sedek on Alarak, NoobSlayer 76 on Rhaegar, and Flex Squad on Diablo. Okay, and going into this third match, this is my first best of 3 for Chair League that went to a 3, so I'm extremely excited. And by the way, ooh. Well, unless this is a 10-minute match, I will be late to my next match. So, But we will see. We will try and get there on time. We are going to go straight into another best of 3 after this one. So please stay tuned after this game, because we're going to have another game, and then after that we'll have another game. So the next one's at 7 PST, so we've got not a lot of time. And then the next game after that is at 9 PST. All right, we are going to see the bird out from Tyrande. We'll connect onto that Vala right away, so they're going to see at least kind of who's coming through the gate right off the bat. Okay, and in Greymane, and in top, we're going to see the Greymane Allar, 2 strong solo laners, so they're definitely going to be going up against each other. And it looks like, internet-wise, we have leveled out here, so that is going to be great for our for this game right here. Alrighty. Let's check into some of these first level talents. So we are going to have the Hungering Arrow build from Vala, which is definitely going to be what she wants to burn down that Immortal. We are going to see Diablo stun the Genji into the wall. There is a huge stun from Tyrande onto 3 of the members of the team. And it looks like they will just be able to get out of there. And this is going to be an extremely hard 4-man to kill. I mean, for both teams, honestly. But at the same time, with the Lucio never really needing mana, and the Rhaegar just providing the burst healing from when they... they're playing this very tight together. But they're getting so much healing off that Lucio, and wow, that NoobSlayin 67 almost dropping pretty low there. Lucio will be able to pump it up and go ahead and get them back to full. Alright, so at 145, which is a good note to know when you're playing this game yourself, the first Immortal pops at 145, and then it's 145 after that every single time when the Immortal dies. Vala is going to go ahead and get that multi-shot off and get a couple members. There is the stun onto Genji, but there is that backline stun onto the Diablo, so you cannot confirm any of this. The healers in the Vala are so... they're a little far forward, but the Diablo is rotating back into that frontline position. They are going to zone them out away at this time. Alarak is chasing in this Greymane. It looks like we're going to have the teams grouping up here and going on to the Immortal of NoobSlayin. They are calling retreat on the side of NoobSlayin for that Vala to make sure that she does get out of here okay. Alright, and it looks like at this point we are going to have the 3-man up here. There's a 2-man stun from the Tyrande. The damage mark, I do believe, is out. But with that Lucio Rhaegar, they just keep this Vala alive forever. I like to imagine that this is like a clapback. They're like, all right, you're going to take Stukov and Ariel and take Vala. We're going to take Lucio and Rhaegar and Vala. And we're just going to show you how it's just as bad. All right, and... so we have 3 members possession here. There's the stun and charge onto that Vala. They're going to be looking to get her as best they can. Diablo will be coming in to zone this out at this point. He will be chasing some of the members out. They do not have enough damage here to confirm any kills until their Greymane Genji get here. They are getting here. But this is the halfway mark for the set of NoobSlayin. They do get the... ooh, I was going to say the overpower onto that Varian was going to be devastating, but Tyrande does end up falling here. Oopsie. I hit like shift and just Z at the same time somehow. Alright, and at this point we are just going to have the Immortals being raced down by both teams. Actually extremely good zoning off from NoobSlayin. They are going to confirm that Greymane kill. Genji will be behind the wall trying to play safe so he doesn't get stunned himself. And that is going to be a first level Immortal, or first Immortal going over to NoobSlayin, and it is almost going to be fully shielded as well. I just took a quick peek check. Majesty's 965. If you don't mind letting them know that I'm finishing up the game. I'm not dipping on them. All right, and this first Immortal is going to be sieging up onto this tower. The shields will provide it the ranged attacks. Once the shields drop, it then goes into melee mode and starts to damage your tower with its axes. So just something to know is when you're playing as a team, if you want to kind of poke for the shields and invade when the shields are gone. You're going to see the overpower from Diablo onto the Greymane. They're targeting him very well. He is able to get out of that without a single problem, though. We're going to see this excuse me. Stun onto the Lucio from the Tyrande, but with the full shield immortal, he is going to be marching onto this keep at this point. And definitely it looks like with this Lucio Rhaegar comp, this is extremely hard to fight against. Vala, even though she has no mana, she just provides so much damage to against the enemy team. So they're going to be losing their gate. Okay. So they lost the gate, and at this point, so the Immortal died at about 5 minutes. So look to see them get that camp at around 6:30. They should be, both of the teams should be looking to get their camps around that time. There's the vision onto Lucio, so they do know that they're there. So they're going to go ahead and just grab this right away. Alright, and the top camp will be gotten by NoobSlayin. So, with that pressure, it looks like they're going to just clear out the waves, rotate into bottom, and try and maybe invade that camp as well. We are just about, I think it's about, we're about a minute or, not a minute, excuse me, about like 45 seconds away from the next Immortal to come in. Looks like NoobSlayin will be coming in for an aggressive invade. Regen knows this, and it looks like they're going to be trying to back off the... the healing onto this Tyrande is insane. She gets the last second stun before she falls. Rhaegar will be chasing down this Genji. It will not be working out for him. And they're going to go ahead and just take this camp themselves from Regen. And with that, they're going to be confirming about a level lead at this point. Are they going to be trying to push into these towers? Kavala already went back to get full on mana for the next Immortal that should be coming any second now. The bird is out to get a little bit of vision to see where the team is going, maybe slow them down. Vala's going to be starting this camp over here, and there is the Immortal exactly. So I was 10 seconds off. Or excuse me, 20 seconds off on the call. Alrighty. So we are going to see Greymane getting this camp over here, and actually Vala will not be getting this camp. I don't think she can solo that by herself, so maybe that was just a miscommunication. But at the same time, they will be starting to burn down this Immortal. Without that Vala, it is a little bit harder for them, but they still can get in here with a lot of damage. Diablo does go in and pushes some of them away just to kind of zone them out here. Vala is back, so they do have the full team for the engagement. Greymane is going to be actually... Okay. Looks like he's going to be going into the team, waiting to get a good engagement to dive onto one of the enemy teammates of NoobSlayin. But it looks like they're going to get some silences out. It's just going to be a lot of poke damage. And they're going to be going back and pushing out their waves a little bit here, trying to get that 10, because once NoobSlayin gets 10 here, this is going to be a very hard defense for Regen. They get the halfway mark. Looks like Greymane got a little bit of damage onto that Immortal. There is the chase onto the Tyrande. They definitely want to mitigate the increased damage that she can give. She gets a stun out onto that backline Diablo. That Alarak was definitely trying to chase her, but Therian is going to get stunned by the Diablo. The Apocalypse, and he is going to be falling here, and this is definitely going to be almost another full shield Immortal for NoobSlayin. There's a stun out to the team just to delay a bit here. They want to wait for their variant to get back and try and buy as much time as they can before the Immortal gets to their gate, and they have to fight without 10 here. It will be pushing this bottom. Greymane is de-pushing top, trying to get closer. Excuse me, the Tyrande will be doing the same, trying just to get a little bit closer, but they don't want to lane past their tower because they don't want to get ganked. Looks like they're going to be creating top pressure with that camp, actually after the Immortal. Really smart of them. It must have been started like just as it was ending, and then they just got it, so it pops at the exact same time, which is a really, really strong thing to do for your team. Uther will be getting flipped here, body blocked like crazy. The stun comes out to try and save him, but there is no 10, there is no Divine Shield or Storm. He does have his After Death heals, which is going to deal a little, is going to be pretty helpful for the team, but once he dies, that's just going to be the full cooldown. So 13 seconds till we have our main healer back for Regen. So with the shields just falling on the Immortal, we are going to be seeing him push in a little bit here. Alright, and he's going to be, this is definitely going to be a keep going to be taken by the Immortal. Varian does get caught out here by the Diablo. The flip and the stuns were there for the follow-up. The silence from the Alarak, and it looks like they're going to be just playing this safe and rotating back into the lane. And they're going to let this, the double demount from the Tyrande, so that's going to be building her a couple more stacks. We are going to see the full retreat from Rhaegar and the Vala just to go ahead and get full on their mana. We're going to see this 3-man in bottom go ahead and getting this camp, which will help the bottom push. At this point, NoobSlayin is just playing extremely safe, and all they really want to do is they want to create this pressure so that way they have Regen has to respond to them, but they don't have to respond with a team fight. Even though they're 2 levels up and a talent tier up, they don't need to take a team fight. They can just play the macro game, push up the lanes, create this pressure for the next about minute, I believe. Maybe 45 seconds. And once the next Immortal comes, they're just going to try and fight underneath that with their talent tier advantage. But at the same time, let's keep in mind, Regen does have their ultimates. And so they are down a talent tier, but if they can get 1 or 2 picks within the Immortal fight, this is definitely going to be their kind of big stand at this point. They really need to get 1 or 2 picks. There is going to be maybe an invade. The bird does come out. They do see them coming here. The danger ping's already there. The stun's out. They're going to disengage. The taunt is onto Lucio. Genji does get into that backline, but he will be falling down. The break it down does come out from him. We are going to be having the Tyrande fall from the Alarak, who did get into that backline with his deadly charge. Varian is trying to get away from the enemy team. He does protect himself, but he is... Oh, the cleanse came out, and he tried to get away. Unfortunately, that will be 2 members on the side of Regen dying, and this is going to be another camp stolen away by NoobSlayin. And this is definitely... This is a hard spot to be in. Now, granted, this isn't an extremely big advantage. I mean, they got another level on them, but Varian will be popping right now, so he is going to be here for this. They're not going to be able to defend until after the halfway mark, because they're gonna easily burn this down on the side of NoobSlayin, and what that buys time for Regen to push out their lanes, collect themselves, get together, and then, you know, get a plan of attack and say, all right, we're gonna go in. We got the bird out. We can see, you know, that we got vision on their Vala. Who's near her? We're gonna play extremely safe. The Immortal is on their side, so it is the safe side. Vala will have the poke. There is the stun from the Varian. There is the Starfall actually from the Tyrande on all the members. A huge silence from that Alarak onto 4 members. The deadly charge is being charged up. I think he's just waiting for them to get into vision. And he's going to be going straight in. He actually dives right in. There is the telekinesis forward and the huge stun once again. There is the stun from Tyrande, but they are pushing them back. The taunt onto the Diablo buys a little bit of time, but that will be Varian, Greymane, and Genji falling here. And this is going to be a full Shield of Immortal pushing that top lane. And it looks like NoobSlayin wants to go ahead and take the quick route. They want to save these catapults and make sure that they're going to be pushing onto the core with the Immortal. And at this point, with the top pressure and the extreme bottom pressure, this is looking very dire on the side of Regen. They're definitely going to want to... All their members are up, so they could try for one last stand here. You're going to have to try and just forego the keep, let it push itself out. The D-Shield onto the Genji. He is in the back line with that sword, but he will... Oh, the Incest. To break it down, the Ancestral just took away all hope of this just being turned around. The break it down saved... I think it was the Vala who was a little far forward, and then there was the Ancestral onto, I think, the Alarak. Genji will just hop over the wall to save himself, and this is going to be GG's.